Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. So today we learned that Taylor Swift got engaged to Travis Kelce, and I think this is one of those events that's going to turn into a flashbulb memory of where we were when we first learned the news, and it's a good one. I mean, my generation is full of negative flashbulb memories, and but I have a few positive ones, so I thought this video could be about that. Let's talk about the last time somebody that I followed got engaged and or married. You guys probably don't know her, but in 2003, Kelly Clarkson competed on World Idol against 10 other idols, and I had a big crush on Kelly Clarkson until I watched the World Idol. There were, I think Kelly Clarkson, in my opinion, was the least hottest girl of the three on World Idol. I ended up voting for another girl. I used to call her Curry Jr. Uh, great granddaughter, or maybe great great grandniece of Mary Curry. And I went around voting for her the night of the show. Now, 7 years later, 2010, she got married, and I was sad out of my mind that she was taken. I was also sad that I was getting nowhere in my own love life, and I I got desperate. Seeing her get married, also around the same time, Carrie Underwood also got married. I didn't like Carrie Underwood that much, but it was just a downward spiral of desperation for me, seeing those two marriages. But this time around, I'm not so desperate anymore because I'm actually getting somewhere, and I have a lot more direction in life now, obviously. But I'll still remember where I was. I was actually in a pretty bad situation when I first learned of Curry Jr.'s marriage. I think it was in July of 2010. I had lost my apartment and I was living out of my office. They gave us a really nice office when I was working on my PhD. And it was in that office that I learned the news. Another positive flashbulb memory was in 2000 when we finally learned the result of the election. 2000 was Gore versus Bush recounts in Florida. I still distinctly remember where I was in the living room when I learned the news. Also, I had just gotten my grades for the fall semester that year, and I was pleasantly surprised. I was expecting to get a B in this class, and I got an A. And not long after that, we learned the result of the election, and it was a relief. At least the election was done with. I don't know how many of my viewers like George Bush, but at least the election was done with. I remember watching the launch of the Juno spacecraft on its way to Jupiter. I had just moved into a basement apartment with three other housemates, and I had a TV in the basement, and I watched the launch of Juno on CNN. I also remember the day in 2030, 2 years later, Juno flew past the Earth. I remember that whole day just looking up in the sky. Obviously, I didn't see Juno, but I was thinking Juno could see me, and it was on its way to Jupiter. And I remember trying to feel if I could feel the Earth slow down a little bit, because when Juno flies past the Earth, it steals a little bit of Earth's energy in order to propel itself to Jupiter. And in my mind, I tried to imagine feeling the Earth slow down a little bit, right? Just like how I like to imagine getting radiation burns from my bismuth crystals, right? It probably has about that same effect, right? Um, I remember the ending of the Cassini mission as well. And I remember looking at Saturn and just imagining the fire up there. I had just moved into office, if you could believe it. I had rented some office space in Bellevue, Washington to live in. Uh, and yeah, so even positive events can leave flashbulb memories, or it doesn't have to be negative ones. Although my generation seems to have a negative one every few years, it seems like these days, right? Between terrorism, pandemics, election meltdowns, financial crises, and all sorts of crap, right? Wars. So it's nice that we have positive ones too. This is the Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum.